VTubing often requires some level of theatrical, acting, or general entertainment skill. And while entertainment ability in terms of being able to hold a conversation or comedy or raw cuteness are really the only prerequisite, a VTuber often needs talent to stand out. Hell, not just talent, but raw confidence, charisma, and sheer fucking audacity. Unless you're in one of the big corpos, but then again, you still need to have entertainment skills to join those corpos in the first place. However, as a VTuber, not everybody has talent. After all, a lot of VTubers started VTubing because they're socially anxious people that just wants to make friends. Not everyone is into VTubing because they want to show off their skills or because they want to entertain. Some VTubers just want to have a connection with other people without necessarily going out too. I mean, why do you think there's a shit ton of menheras out there? Even I started this YouTube channel because I was incredibly lonely. However, as a VTuber agency, it is highly encouraged you get at least 1 or 2 people that are talented if you're looking to debut a wave, especially if everyone else aren't particularly confident despite their skills. In fact, you just don't need someone with talent, you need someone with talent that is more than glad to show it off. You need to have someone that has a bit of an ego, and in a group setting, that 1 or 2 people gets the absolutely awesome title of being called the Powerhouse. Now, as I've mentioned, the Powerhouse is the group's most conventionally talented member. Because of that, they're often very loud. They're the very audacious, daring, and confident member that everyone relies on to put up a good performance. Whereas the leader is known for their innovation, technical skills, and near managerial role, and the heart is well known as the emotional core of the group and someone who holds everyone together, the Powerhouse is known for one thing and one thing only: being an absolute unit. Someone who has the potential to become a brand of their own without the group, or someone that is a brand of their own without the group already. However, despite how I framed the start of this video might lead you to believe, a VTuber's sheer fucking talent isn't the only deciding factor into who gets labeled the Powerhouse. It's also someone who has an entire laundry list of varying skills and pumps out volumes and volumes of sheer content. Generally, the Powerhouse are the ones that the leader relies on to execute their plans in anything related to theatrical or performance endeavors. Because of this, again, the Powerhouse usually has a Swiss Army knife of skills. They're very consistent in their content output, whatever content that may be, and are inspirational and hardworking go-getters. Now, the Powerhouse doesn't have to be good at everything. They just have to be really good at the ones that matter to the group. That one defining skill or talent that makes you go, oh, that one's gonna pop the fuck off. For example, Ren Zotto is the Powerhouse of Ailuna solely for the fact that he's usually the core of any kind of song they're in. He is their best singer and he stands out because of it. It's what he's known for. That's the foundation of his fame and reputation outside and inside Nijisanji. Another example is Roka from Idol Endless. Although the other girls are good at what they do and even have overlapping skills and talents with Roka, Roka is the one that stands out for hers. In Luxium, it's Shu. Although he hasn't really had the chance to shine because of the AR Live being cancelled, and it's kind of taking a toll on his motivation and mental health. But still, people know Shu as the group's main singer and considers him the reliable guy to do so. I mean, Ike can also be that person too. They can both be the Powerhouse, it just really depends how one views the group dynamic. I just want Shu to pop the fuck off, dude. Leave me alone. But that begs 2 questions. What if every or most members of a group are talented themselves? And what if none of the group are conventionally talented? Actually, 3 questions. The last one being, what if another person is more well known for being an absolute content unit, but there's someone else that's conventionally more talented and is more well known for it? So first, let's talk about the first one, where every and most members of the group are talented. Somehow, I always bring up the exact same example whenever I talk about VTuber tropes. But you can't blame me, that just speaks to how much thought and effort Cover Corp actually made when they wanted to party balance their first EN group. That group being obviously Hololive Myth. In these cases, the Powerhouse is chosen by who can reliably perform more consistently and who seems to be who everyone turns to when they want any project or performance done, even though any one of them could reliably perform better. Powerhouse of that dynamic is the one who has built the foundation of their popularity or reputation around the things that they produce. The one more well known for what they do and their talent and skill rather than their personality or who they are as a VTuber. In Myth, Calliope Mori is the unchallenged and unanimous powerhouse of the group. Even though many people would argue that Gura is the better singer, which Kali is known for, or that Kiara is the better dancer or performer, which is also what Kali is well known for. And that is because Callie is pumping out more content and works more than literally every single one of Myth. It's not about Callie prioritizing quantity over quality when it comes to her albums, it's more like how people know Callie and Myth and what dynamic she has with her group. From an outside point of view, she's the most hardworking and conventionally skilled. If you're not a Myth or Mori Calliope fan, then you must still have heard of Callie mostly through her songs, concerts, or her reputation among other VTubers. Or her memes if you don't really care that much about VTubing. Or her yabs if you're a drama feaster. And that reputation gets to a point where the biggest brands and IPs in Japan literally want her in their projects. People know Callie by what she can do and what she does rather than who she is as a VTuber, even though some people may think that her works are not that good. And because of that, she is the powerhouse. It also doesn't help that Callie herself is actually multi-talented and skilled. She's good at singing, dancing, and general performing, drawing, animating, producing, mixing, voice acting. She's a jack of all trades. Another example would be Muna Hashinova from Hololive Indonesia Gen 1. Literally every single one of this group's members are cracked and talented in their own way. Ayofi is a talented artist that can sing really well. Risu, my beloved, is a shitposter who has the voice of an angel, but Muna was born to slay the stage. Among those three, despite their talents, Muna is more well known for her performative content more so than Risu and Ayofi. Although Ayofi is the feel-good Genki girl whose performance can make everyone fall in love with her, and Risu literally silences the entire crowd with her angelic voice, literally even stealing the show during the third fest because of how cracked she is, Muna makes people fucking worship her. Muna is the closest thing to an actual K-pop idol Hololive has. At least until Hololive starts branching to Korea or gets a talented Powerhouse Koreaboo EN member. I mean, Kiara's a massive Koreaboo but she's not the Powerhouse, so you get what I mean. While again, a great many people would think Risu is the better singer, but Muna is just more well known for being the performer. It's the same situation Calliope Mori and Gura finds themselves that I mentioned earlier. People know Muna not just because she's the COO of Sex, but also because she is the pop star of the entire Hololive Indonesia branch. And because of that, she is the powerhouse. But what happens in a reverse scenario? What or who is the powerhouse when a group isn't necessarily an absolute unit of performative people, when not everyone or anyone stands out because of the lack of conventional talents? Well, in that case, the powerhouse becomes who is the most creative and who grinds the most when it comes to pumping content, to a point that grinding and making wild and wacky content is what they're best known for. For example, Hololive Gen 5 is a gen that are quite skilled, but none of them really have built a brand or reputation of being performative, even if they've already proven themselves to be competent performance-wise. It's not that I don't think any of them are conventionally skilled or talented, just that none of them really have that cracked, conventionally skilled reputation. And I feel like Mano Aloe was supposed to be that group's powerhouse, but we all know what happened to her. But hey, I probably just don't know Hololive Gen 5 enough. Point is, in their situation, Polka is the powerhouse, because Polka is batshit insane and whose content is actually really underappreciated and varied. She pumps out these content and skits like an absolute machine. In fact, she's really well known for that in her community. She's the clown that constantly posts random fun shit. That's her reputation, that's where her renown is rooted upon. And as such, she is the powerhouse. In Holo ID Gen 3, there's a similar powerhouse to this. That being Kaela, because she's a motherfucking unit. A grinding, content-creating, terminally online machine who is well known for one thing and one thing only. Her dedication to the grind. Kaela, I don't even think sleeps anymore. Her streaming stamina is so absolutely wild, it doesn't make sense to me how she can balance her life like that. However, those more aware of ID Gen 3 might also be piqued by the idea that Kobo actually fits one of the prior definitions that I said earlier. Kobo herself is multi-talented, a cracked and cute singer, a great entertainer, a programmer who made her own debut site, an editor, a graphic designer almost, and basically she's built a brand around herself as the bratty kid who can do insane shit. Like, Kobo's songs actually even beat the viewerships of quite a few big corpo songs too, and that just speaks to her talent and skill and how much people know her for it. So you might ask yourself, Nusagi, then doesn't that mean that ID Gen 3 has two powerhouses, Kaela and Kobo? Well, yes, dear viewer, they do, because that was the point of all that explanation all along. The fact that there are two types of powerhouses, the performative powerhouse and the content powerhouse. Those two don't necessarily have to be exclusive to one member too. One member can both be the content and performative powerhouse, and a group can have both of these too. Remember, the foundation and the basis of the powerhouse title is the reputation and connotation they have among their genmates, branch, and general community. Again, someone being talented at something doesn't equate to them being the powerhouse automatically. They only become the powerhouse when they can be relied on to be consistent with whatever skill, talent, or things that they are well known for, whether that be gaming or performative or creative talent. But sometimes, once in a blue moon, there goes someone that's the ultimate fusion of all those kinds of powerhouses, becoming the biggest inspiration for many, and their name becoming not just a marketing slogan for investors and audience to pitch to, but to a point where their name is the exact synonym of sheer skill and talent, to a point where execs, audiences, and all kinds of people will almost never be disappointed no matter what. These are the kinds of powerhouses that can fill up entire stadiums and even outclass big-name celebrities. I call these the apex powerhouses. But unfortunately, there's just not enough VTubers that fit this prerequisite. You know who the only apex powerhouse that currently exists? Hoshimachi fucking Suisei. Yeah, that's right. I bet some of you all expected this. It's literally one more excuse for me to spurg about Suisei. Suisei is... Oh my god. How do I even begin to explain Suisei? Her name, I want you to understand, her name isn't just a selling point, it's an entire fucking brand in of itself that goes beyond Hololive. That name commands so much respect and attention in Japan and overseas, especially among VTuber fans, that people actually worship Suisei these days more than Tokinosora. Her name actually makes business people ejaculate if they happen to find out that she's associated to whatever business they are doing. In every Hololive concert, having Suisei is a must-have, and her performance is something a microscopic few will be disappointed of. And that's wild. Suisei is talent and skill and confidence and majesty and sex incarnate. She's an excellent gamer, a cracked singer, a top-tier performer, a great artist, knows her way around tech and machines and programs, a dependable cook, an editor, a graphic designer herself. People would kill to be like Suisei. And so far, I don't think I've heard of any VTuber that has the same prestige or commands the same kind of fanatic adoration and genuine mature respect that Suisei does. And perhaps that's why she's the apex powerhouse. Because to be the apex assumes that you've outclassed all others. To be the apex means that there can really be only one.